And here's the next topic.
By the way, Guilani left already.
Someone must have told you all that I'm picking up the tab for dinner tonight. You know, what Jack talked about is so important, it's so true. But the thing is, you're judging yourself based upon the opposition. When the opposition wants to come out and start talking about you using name calling and things of that nature, what they have to understand is a whole paratrooper like me knows one thing. That shows fear and desperation. And nothing thrills a paratrooper more than to know that he has an enemy that is scared of him. They're scared of us for one simple reason. They're scared of all of us because we stand on the right side of the message. We stand on a message that is based upon the constitutional principles and values that made this country great, that made the United States of America what it is in 234 years. And we stand as one, as the Spartans did in that gap at Thermopylae with our shields locked, saying that we will not surrender this country. We will not retreat. We will not give up 1 inch. We are going to restore this country back to those principles. We are going to go back and invest in the indomitable spirit of the American people. We are not going to enslave the American people. We are not going to accept the dishonest tyranny of the liberal left. We are going to have a message that will resonate with the rest of this country. I'm not going to stand up here and bore you any longer because I think you have enough people talking. You know, the only time I get to talk is when I come in here with you because my wife Angela doesn't let me talk at home. But you all got it, and my wife Angela, my 2 daughters are back there in the back. And ladies and gentlemen, my fellow Republicans, my fellow conservatives that are here. We've got a primary election next Tuesday. And it's so important that you come out in that primary election next Tuesday because this is kind of like the NFL draft. This is your opportunity to pick your team. This is your opportunity to pick the group of individuals that you're going to send into the arena to do the fighting for you on the 2nd of November. And you have to pick a solid team from the federal level all the way down to the local level. Because it's so important that we get a synergy that goes from Washington, D.C. all the way down to our local government, being in our county and our city governments, so that we can have those right principles, so that we can understand and abide by the principles of limited government and lower taxes, so we can reestablish individual responsibility and accountability. Because right now we're creating too many victims in the United States of America. You know, this morning I had a pastor's breakfast that I spoke to down in Pompano Beach. And when you drive up US 1 through Pompano Beach, Florida, you see the decimation of the policies that are coming out of the Obama administration. You see empty upon empty upon empty storefront. Every day you wake up, you hear about unemployment numbers. Every day you wake up and you hear about foreclosure numbers. And if we're not careful, next January of 2011, we will see a tax increase that will break the back of the American people, will break the back of the private sector. And I will not allow that to happen. We cannot have... allow the death tax to come back. And even if they stand up there and they talk about they're only going to raise taxes for that upper 1%, let me tell you, they're lying. They're going to raise taxes on every bracket, 4 to 5%, because they need that to continue to funnel the wasteful government spending that's coming out of Washington, D.C. Dividends tax will come back. Capital gains taxes will increase. Death tax comes back. The mayor's credit will go away. Child tax credit will be cut in half. The alternative minimum tax population will go from 4 million to 28 million. Those are the type of things we have to fight against. If we are going to grow this economy, if we are going to get back to long-term sustainable economic growth, it comes from you. It comes from you. It comes from you. It comes from you. It comes from each and every one of you that are sitting out there. It does not come from Washington, D.C., where we have the public sector that is outpacing the private sector, where we have public sector compensation that is outpacing private sector compensation. If we're not careful, the United States of America is on the road to being like Greece. And that is what I will stop. This election that's coming up is so important. The redistricting, the 10-year redistricting is coming up in 2012. We must have the right type of man in the governor's mansion. We must have the right type of people in the State House of Representatives. Because if not, what happens if I win this race and next thing you know, 2 years from now, Alcee Hastings? But that's what happens when they have the power of the pen with redistricting. I want each and every one of you to understand the strategic importance of the election that is coming up. The United States of America is depending on us here in South Florida. The United States of America is depending on you here in South Florida because I see the emails. Because for whatever reason, this election here has become a national election. Because you are telling people you know what leadership is about. You know what character is about. You know what principles are about. South Florida is going to lead the United States of America when I get there. They're not going to remember us for hanging chads. They're not going to remember us because we have county commissioners that keep going to prison. They're going to remember us because we're going to show that it is about character. It is not about the color of one's skin. It is about the fire that burns in your belly for the United States of America. It is about a pride that we have as American people that says to folks in New York City, you will respect a sacred site at Ground Zero. Some knucklehead off the street named David Brady that put him in a race against me. And the Palm Beach Post is so heinous that they endorsed him. This is what we're going to do. We're going to take him out behind the woodshed and we're going to get some southern fried breakfast until next Tuesday.